Hi everybody, it's Steven, and I wanted to show you my latest album that I've been working on. This is made out of a series of file folders. Now, you actually take the file folders, and you can see here I made a prototype. If you go to the Paper Addiction on YouTube, you'll find the instructions for this. A lady by the name of Michelle, who puts up a lot of really great videos. She has this all laid out, but she used file folders that I guess are more readily available. I think she's in Australia, I'm not really sure, but her file folders all came with a straight edge on them. You know, our file folders in North America, or at least the ones I get my hands on, all have the standard little tab on them. You know what I'm talking about. So I had to alter her design in order to accommodate for cutting those kind of file folders with the tab already on them. Now, since then, I think she has another tutorial on there that's meant to go along with the file folders that do have a tab. So you can look her up. That's the Paper Addiction, all one word. Just look for it on YouTube. So this is just my plan so I can do this again. But basically, it's one file folder. It's cut down to a strip. It's folded in this manner, and it creates the pages in the album. So this is my album. Now, I decided I really like what they call the steampunk look, which is sort of a whimsical Victorian style meets heavy metal kind of gears and things like that. You can look it up. You can find lots of images for steampunk kind of things if you just do a search on Google under steampunk and look for the images. And I think they're really kind of neat. And it also allows you to use a lot of metal pieces, like the Tim Holtz metal pieces. Like on here, I've got some of Tim Holtz's gears and some of his numbers, and you can distress them and give it a whole grunge look. So this is, I think I made this out of 3 file folders, and I basically grunged it up. I just put it on off-white cardstock. Oh, sorry, I did not put it on off-white cardstock. The file folders were off-white, and I just took a black ink pad, again a distress ink pad from Tim Holtz, and just rubbed the black ink all around the edges before I laid down my background papers. I found a whole pack at Michael's of themed pattern paper, which was actually called Steampunk Botanicals, and so that's the pad that I used for this. So this is the cover, some butterflies here and some numbers and a little clock and some gears, as I pointed out. You open it up, and all of the cards that are in here are all images that I printed off of the internet from Google, and I just made little pockets out of them, cut them in half. I printed these out, I inked them, and then my little cards go inside. And on the back you could put a picture, you could put some journaling, whatever you want. But I think the images are really quite cool. And when you make this album, it does create a pocket at the top, and so I created a tag. I used some distress glitter for this, which is kind of neat because it's different from the usual kind of glitter. When you emboss it, you do it the same way. You sprinkle it on the clear embossing stamp, and then you heat it. And unlike regular embossing powder, you can see it melt. This doesn't really melt. It just kind of gets a little duller in color, and that's how you know that it's sticking. And then when you're finished doing that, you let it cool right down, and then you rub your finger across it. And it actually has a texture somewhat like sandpaper, but there's these little bits that are embedded into this stress glitter that are meant to rub off to give like partial, I don't know if you can see that or not, but gives you sort of edges that aren't completely covered in the glitter and gives it that distressed look. And I think that's kind of neat. So I created this card using a collage rubber stamp, put the distress glitter on it, and it just fits in the pocket. Now you'll notice on the back I just did some simple inking with walnut ink, distress ink, and again, could be for journals or for pictures, and they just slip in here. Now if you've seen some of my other albums, and lots of people do this, they will put it in upside down. They will attach a ribbon to the top of it and let the ribbons hang out from the outside of the album, which I think is a really neat effect. But in this particular one, I didn't want to add any ribbons to it. I wanted to give it a very grungy look. So you'll notice no ribbons on the tags, but the tags do pop up over the top almost like tabs. So you carry on, This next page, same idea. You put little pockets down the bottom, put the little cards in, places to journal and whatnot. And then this design also creates a side pocket. And here I made two little tags using the same method I just mentioned. This one is a little darker, as you can see, than the other. And they just slip in there. Now I'm putting them in this way. You could do both sides, but I wanted one side to be left plain so that you could put a picture of journaling in it. But I put them this way because when you close the album, then you get to see the top. So very similar here. Same idea all the way through it and to the end. And lots of places to write things. So that didn't take very long to make, really. I didn't really think that much about it. It's got a really well-worn look to it, and I just thought it was kind of neat, and gave me a chance to try out this steampunk theme. So, hope you like. Talk to you soon.